I've found myself some fans as Liquid struggle to close it out. I've got one mousesports fan over here. Is there any more? There's a few of them. This is Theo, and then Devin, the Team Liquid fan. Team Liquid? Now, you've got to be pretty happy as a mousesports fan. The fact that they managed to close that out, they came back from behind, they must be feeling pumped. What did that feel like to you?
Going from like 3 to 4 fans of mousesports and no one cheering for us, it's pretty, it's a good feeling to see them lose. And mousesports has been holding this anger for a long time, and once they see all of the Team Liquid fans, they got mad, and now they're just winning. And they're gonna win Mirage. 16-0.
Confidence, 16-0 he just said as well. Now, mousesports are a confident team when it comes to Mirage. Do you think Team Liquid can bounce back though and close it out in this last map?
Oh yeah, definitely. They're really a good team from what I've seen for the years, and they've been definitely getting better from when I first started watching them. But they're a really strong team. I'm sure they can come back. I just feel like they had like a lull in their teamwork, I feel, towards the end of the match, because it seemed like the rotates were a little slow, just from what I noticed, but I don't know what they're thinking. I'm not up there.
We might have a new analyst here as well, by any chance. Now, he said mousesports going to 16-0 him. What do you got to say to that?
No way in hell.
Okay. Mousesports, then. This is your do or die moment. Both teams have had multiple second places. What one thing do you think needs to happen to make sure mousesports win on Mirage?
Just change sides a little bit. They kept going to A, which was good, but I feel like now Team Liquid's gonna know that, so they should know when to rotate and when to change sides.
Okay. And Devin, what do you think is going to be the win factor for Team Liquid?
I just feel like Liquid needs to get their coercion back. It seemed like I said they were really having a hard time communicating from what I noticed, but as I said, I'm pretty sure they can get it back together. They know what they're doing. They'll get it done.
All right, you've heard it here from the fans on the ground. Make some noise one last time, guys. We're going back to Stunner and the guys on their desk. It is absolutely crazy in here.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty weird things in my day, and there's something weird going on here, Chad.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's 6 p.m. in Brooklyn, and the sun's coming up in mousesports. My goodness, are they doing it? Sunny rocking 91.2 ADR there in that map of Dust 2. Of course, going the full distance, all the rounds on all the maps here at ESL One New York. Guys, why did this fall apart for Team Liquid?
It didn't seem like it had to, right?
No.
I talked about the two AWPs, the AWP duo of Christian and Oscar being the ones to do all the heavy lifting. It was Rops and Sunny on the rifles doing a lot of the dirty work. It was only Chris J coming alive in the later stages in more of the clutch moments, making some big plays with the AWP. You think about all the factors going into this. This should have been Liquid's map. They won both pistol rounds. They even had Taco win a massive 2v1 with that AWP, which is completely unheard of for that guy. And they still were unable to close. And I think the point that you were making earlier, Duncan, about that mentality and not being able to close out big matches is coming back to bite them once more. This one's going to sting.
Yeah, because if you look at this entire second half, when they were up 13 rounds, they clearly had it in their heads like, right, we just want to get the perfect situation before we commit anything. Don't take any risks. There's so many more rounds in the game. And that is always the mantra at that point in time. But the problem is you get to the end of the game and it's a close one like this. You start thinking back and you go, I'd have liked a few of those chances. Maybe I could have gone for that 4v4. Or the one time I had a man disadvantage. Because on the other side of the equation, bearing in mind, mousesports were the ones facing elimination. They played like ballers. They were going for all the big players, all the lurk flanks, all the cocky little players in, going for aim duels. That's how you want someone to play when they're under pressure, because you think about it, even though they won in overtime anyway, I thought the most baller play of this entire game was when Sunny tried the flank later in this. I'm hoping we'll see it in the highlights, when he tried to come behind from Sport. That could have been a game winner in itself.
It's like a 2v4, wasn't it?
A few big clutches from Team Liquid just obviously gave them that chance. Taco.
This is right there, you just saw that pistol round, right? You saw how badly they eliminated them. At that point, it's like, well, pack it up. This one's done. Liquid are on point. They're backing their aim. But it just has to be a mental thing, because the stats back up this 1v2 as well by Taka. Rob's played this fantastically.
Yes,
Taco hit
this
an absolute banger of a shot. Rob's played that really smart. For him to lose in that scenario, that just sucks. But I wanted to talk about some of the numbers here. Twist had 34 kills. He had the most damage. Naf had the most assists. Nitro had the most AWP kills. Twist had the most opening kills, right? And you think about that. When you have all of those massive stat lines going your way in a game and you still don't win the match, that backs up the point of all the saving, all the timidness that we saw out of their CT side.
Well, how about this? I mean, you can see it right there. It says it on your screen, choking hazard, because a 13-4 lead is quite a big one to blow.
Yeah.
But moreover, what does that say going into the next map? We're going to be going into Mirage, and you have to think about the mind frame, the mindset of Liquid going into this now that, well, pretty much got spanked out of the server.
They have to be able to mentally reset, right? It's been 3 years now with Elise and Nitro on this team, and they've made it to countless grand finals. And I wouldn't say that they've choked, because in a lot of them, they haven't actually been the favorite, but they haven't shown up to the same capacity. No. And I don't want to point the finger at those two, but this has to, you know, the amount of heartbreak that those two players and this organization have been through in Counter-Strike is more than I can think of most, especially over such a long period of time. So that definitely is going to be weighing on them. But we have seen out of players, especially like NAF, they can just shrug it off, you know? They like emotionless, and that kind of helps them in these type of environments.
Which is exactly what a player like NAF needs to do going into Mirage. Duncan, what's going on over here on the Liquid side that they could potentially use in their advantage?
Well, one thing that is a definite massive positive is that within the game, in the veto of who's going to pick what and when, we always knew Mirage was going to be in there. Obviously, mousesports was not going to veto that. But at the moment, that is just a historically good map for mousesports. With this lineup, it's not a good map at all, actually. They've won 5 of the last 12 with it. They've had a number of embarrassing losses. They haven't really beaten a lot of the top teams on it. It's just occasionally been the case. Meanwhile, Team Liquid, this has been their comfort map forever, since the early days of the Elise Nitro lineup. It's always on the maps that they've been able to play the best on both sides. And so, yeah, I actually feel like that should be what they're trying to think to themselves. Is right, okay, yeah, we messed up Dust 2. You've got to put that out of our mind. Normally, the 5th map would be more in the middle. I actually feel like this is one that's quite favorable for the Team Liquid guys. This should be one where they're pretty comfortable, and it should be mousesports that's trying to find a way to win this series now.
I think with that whole mental edge situation going on now, it's swung back slightly in the favor of mousesports in the sense of they're still the underdog, right? They're still the ones who are having to punch from the ground here. Whereas you look at Liquid and you're standing there going, they are the favorites. But I think that they've shown time and time again that the mental capitulation, it exists.
Absolutely,
right? And that here is going to be weighing on their mind. One positive, Taco, I said he may get bullied on that map. He didn't. He stood up. He had some very good moments. He had a lot of impact within that first half. So props to him. So as long as we can, you know, see that guy who is maybe the closing force or maybe the final piece of this puzzle with all the trades that have been made to step up here. But for me, this matchup is 50-50.
Yeah. Just 1 minute, just under 1 minute, I should say. Guys, I need to know who's going to be taking it home.
Like I'm saying, it feels so 50-50 right now. In this clash, they're just knife for sides right there. I'm sure we'll be seeing that selection come in soon. But I'm just going to have to go with Liquid because I think that they have, you know, the better team, the more strategies. I think we should see them get the victory here.
They say character is your destiny. At the moment, Team Liquid has had so many leads. The 3 maps in this series, they've had a lead and given part of it up. Lost one of them, obviously. mousesports have made all the gutsy plays, all the comebacks. Even on the maps they've lost, they've gotten back into it in terms of the score. Whoever does their side of the equation, if Team Liquid chokes, obviously mousesports is going to take it. I think mousesports isn't going to go into the night easily, though. So I'll take Team Liquid, but I hope it's a great map. I hope it's another 30-round epic, and we get the proper Mirage game we deserve.
This is an American event. For all intents and purposes, we are in Brooklyn, and this is the time for Liquid to show up. This is when it matters. This is when they can seal the deal. And I also think they can do it. Brooklyn, do you think Liquid can do it, or do you think mousesports can do it? It's about that time. We're going into Mirage Trois, and it's two that are all too familiar with it. Take it away one last time, Santa Kiss and Henry.
That is your favorite thing about this, isn't it, Henry?
It absolutely is. And we're off into the races already. Elise and Twist replicating their form from the CT Pistol and Dust 2. An absolute bloodbath towards middle. 4 players out and just Chris J alone on the B bomb side. No bomb to be seen. No plan will be happening here. They will not be going any further than this point as Team Liquid have everything locked down. Chris J at this point looking for consolation frags.
Well, if you thought the last map and the heartbreak for Liquid would slow them on Mirage, this is certainly indicative of otherwise. Great start, as mousesports will seemingly and apparently go down 1-0 to Liquid, who start out on the CT side for the final map, remember. They came in as the favorites and had the veto in their favor. Taco, he'll take out Chris to confirm that there will be no bomb plants, nor any, as you said, consolation kills for that matter, which does take a little bit of money away from Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. This was absolutely perfect, though, from Twist and Elise. Aggressive, of course, towards middle. They managed to find all the headshots and quite confident in their finish, absolutely so. There'll be a bit of a force buy here from mousesports. Sunny only gets the deagle. Oscar, same story for him, but they had to buy a bit of extra utility. They're going for the A execution here in the second round. Nitro will hunt for information here, and this is actually a massive problem because the execution is coming in so early. Their rotations are going to take a while to get back to the site. If mousesports can get the opening kill, they might have a chance here. Still haven't deployed their smokes. That allows the CTs to rotate back in. I thought they were going for it straight away. They got one player in the form of Chris J, who was just showing some presence towards B. He's going to fall back and join his teammates. He still has his smoke. Enough like getting presence established towards those B apartments. 1 minute 15. Looks like we'll see the execution in the next few seconds now.
And full execution at that. All 5 players on that side of the map. Nitro will certainly identify that there's no one coming out from the underpass late, just wants to make sure. In fact, he'll run all the way down mid just to note. So he's further away from the site. They've sent the bomb in alone, but you pointed out something interesting. They've not overcommitted to this. They actually gambled on the fact that the smokes would hold the CTs off, and now they've had a really decent post plan with 3 players toward A main, 2 of which are actually going to go for a full flank. Now that could work, depending on timing, or it could be to their detriment based on distance, because remember, they're only on pistols. Mind you, they have one Deagle heading that direction. Ops, good hold from reverse side of Firebox. Does do some damage and a dink onto Twist. I don't know exactly where he is. He goes down, and already Sunny's gotten one, but they've identified that he is out toward middle. They'll body block the shots coming back around. Oscar's trying to reverse it. Bomb this far gone. Oh, Oscar nearly pulled the round back. I don't know, you're right. They might have got on this too late. Oh man, that's close.
Milliseconds in that. Oh my goodness, it all came down to that shot from the A ramp. They were going for the defuse. That Deagle couldn't connect the dots. 1 kill, that would have been enough. Got nothing for it, but still, the bomb plant there, the damage done. It's better than nothing, but still. We'll get into round number 3 here. Are they forcing this as well? They are not. So they're just going to go for the partial buy with some CZs, Deagles, and indeed, a few bits of utility. Couple of smokes there, make it 3. But Team Liquid 2-0 up. Great execution there.
Little nade tossed out. It was a very clever idea. And good identification as well from Oscar to realize, hang on, we're not actually going to get through the connector. We're already engaged in battle. There's no way I'll get the angle. Really gets back in time. Close as you'd like. Sports showing some flair. I think this is going to be a hell of a map, to be completely honest. Sunny gets spotted at top side of mid. He'll get tagged down to 45 as well. Gives up the position and actually wants to back away from it. Chris, meanwhile, at A main, has other ideas. Twist flashed in. Not quite. Just waiting to see what's going to come his way. Silencer on that MP5 does mean they can't trace those. Otherwise, they might have sorted where he'd gone. Rops does anyway.
Okay, there's a chance here now. Nitro needs to find multiple frags, only good for 1, and Elige can't get anything done whatsoever. This partial buy from mousesports is looking incredibly effective as Taco tries to deny. This is fantastic by him. Sunny, although he's far away, he is coming from behind. 2 versus 2, make it 1. It was looking incredibly powerful, but Taco shut down the potential plant, and Sunny now with no grenades, half HP. And we posted up towards jungle, and that backstab now not looking nearly as effective.
Sunny trying to get the Deagle shots in. Taco holds that as well. To consider the fact that the kills are stacking up still for mousesports, it looks promising that they could get in the way of Liquid. Keep in mind as well, some of Liquid's, as an organization, some of Liquid's most heartbreaking defeats have come on this map in the history of the team. Most notably in majors, or therefore qualifiers for them, but on this stage, how close can they get to this trophy? 4th 2 years ago, 2nd last year. It seems the logical conclusion that the final step is the top of the podium, but mousesports are making a case otherwise.
3-0 sure, but 1 round from mousesports will force Liquid to an eco. Chris J, oh my god, what a shot that was. Nice one in return as well, 4-on-4. Bomb still down in T-spawn, so they won't be committing off this. That's not bad, mousesports will be happy with that. That's absolutely fine. Disrupts the CT defense. And they still have plenty of time here. Oscar on the AWP for the first time. He was absolutely fantastic in the second half of Dust 2.
4-on-4. No fan out across the map. Snack's actually looking like they want to go back over toward A. Naf's due for one, and holding on to the B site. He's got much versatility to his name there. He can certainly wield the op. He can play the M4. See if that influences mousesports. Certainly having little to do with that side of the map so far. So Nitro and Twist. Elige making sure that if they're going to concede middle, they can't get toward the window room.
30 seconds, man. Snacks encroaching on the A bomb side. The bomb 2. Nitro, great position to shut this down. Looking for multiple frags, gets nothing. The movement from Robs shuts him down. And now it's up to Twist. He'll be holding towards CT spawn. Bomb to be planted right now. 13 seconds remain, but very clean on the plant. And the retake begins as Elige takes down Robs. It's now a 3 versus 3.
Planted, however, and Oscar this time has a little more than just a deagle to work with as he clips Twist twice. One in the arm, one through the box. Twist survives on 8. Might be one of the luckiest men in Counter-Strike history to get hit with an op twice and still survive, but Oscar still has position, more importantly, and he'll watch now toward the connector instead. Sunny's behind now. Didn't get a chance to strike, but that means they're going to think that's clear. Sunny's about to absolutely tear them apart. Gets one only. Elige, turning around, he might actually cast out Oscar. Didn't have time to get off the second shot. It is all on Sunny, but they're running away because they can't get on the bomb. It's mousesports to win the first gun round, and it goes 3-1.
And that's so impactful as well. Liquid did not have clean round victories up to this point. Their money is absolutely broken now. So I feel like they will force buy. They've got Taco, who can buy up with a rifle there, and the other 2 players will have to make compromises, maybe an SMG or a CZ instead. That's great for mousesports. Their executions are looking pretty on point, I have to say. They've made Liquid very uncomfortable with those plants, and the buy starting to come through. A deagle for NAF, a FAMAS for Twist, but that's saved M4 and AWP. It's enough. And you can see even after mousesports winning that round, Matt, they've got 3 CZs here. Like, what's going on? They've saved so much cash as well. They haven't really fully invested into this. This is bizarre. They've got residual cash and Snacks, Chris J, and Robs. They're going to do an execution of this. This is something they've planned for.
Super peculiar. You win the round and you don't actually elect to buy into it.
Next level.
If it works. Taco waiting in the corner, knows that the execution is coming his direction. Are they going to check for him? Not quite. They're going to go through the window. That now puts pressure onto Naf, who swings out. He's got little to work with. He'll be taken down, but they don't know Taco's still there. That was so tantalizing. If he got 2 in that situation, round done in their favor. Still might be, mind you, because Elige is already fast in from Catwalk. Bomb never got close. Sure, execution, but man, oh man, that's a risk.
It's a peculiar one as well. You surely want to shut down the little money they have. You want to punish the fact they've saved a couple of weapons. They're going to be force buying. I don't know why you don't spend all the cash you have. I guess the idea was that they would maybe win that round or get the bomb plant at least, and now they can't even buy going forward as they now have the worst of both worlds. They lose the previous round and can't buy up into the next. A very strange outcome there for mousesports. Really didn't work out for them there. I think they maybe underestimated how much was available for Liquid with the save of the AWP and the M4. It's actually a pretty good buy overall. They just allowed them to capitalize upon that mistake. Scout for Chris J. He's fully in. Now he wants to spend all his money.
Yeah, I mean, that's one for an interview.
Yeah, I think so.
There's got to be something behind that.
I'm sure there was, and I'm sure there's a logical answer, but right now in the 5th and final map, and this is the way you destroy your own finances, and Chris J's is fully bought up?
Absolutely, yeah. Early in a series maybe, or when you have a map in hand, but map 5 and T-side Mirage at that, I mean, it goes to what you said as well. It wasn't like they had them completely broken down. They've now actually given Liquid a chance to build their money back up, if anything.
Exactly. And Chris now, he goes down to $0. Is he thinking this scout's going to carry the round? I'll happily eat my hat if it happens, but Snacks does open things up. That's a nice kill to take down Elige.
Snacks must be loving the fact that he gets to play in a final for the first time in quite a while. Since Epicenter, late last year, when Virtus Pro had their final great run, if you want to call it that. Chris Rops, Oscar, Sunny, Snacks, all back over toward A. Twist, the only one up close to try and hold it off. Nitro's watching Connector from the ticket booth on his AWP, but he's actually going to rotate off it. They don't have enough information on window. He's a little bit concerned that they might have gotten towards CT. Twist is going to back off as a result of this, and they'll actually essentially have to play a retake. No smokes, so Nitro can get shots off, but Twist won't be able to dance inside of the site to catch them on cross and deny potentially a plant. Oh, Nitro's timing. He was there. They weren't, and he goes back when they certainly are. Oscar, fantastic. On the scout, he's followed that up. Twist down as well. Chris gets a plant on this. Sunny rotates and wraps in on Naf, and Taco's left wondering what the hell just happened.
That's unbelievable. Of course, it is the scout that saves the day. Brilliant headshots delivered, and mousesports right back in this map now. Who would have thought that's the play that saves the day? The scout. Never should have doubted it. And now just Taco survives. Pretty unbelievable. Snacks had opened things up as well with the pistol, made them uncomfortable. Another A execution coming in there, and they hit absolutely every shot. Money for Liquid at this point, absolutely destroyed. And there we have it, 4-2. mousesports now might get a couple in the bag here, as Liquid just don't have enough to even buy up next round if they take a full eco here. They might just have to force buy themselves. That was the shot. Oscar opening it up, and then the second delivered quickly after. Both of them wallbang headshots. Pretty sick stuff from Oscar. And there it is. The force buy comes through. CZ, P250s, and Deagles.
Sunny quick to mid. Smoke gets there just in the nick of time. Well timed, in fact. Executed. Props. Knows they're pushing him. Can hear them running toward him. Sunny. He'll collect nav, so aggression on all facets of the map from Liquid, but now it's going to be mid and Oscar with a very long linear perspective through connector toward Ticket Booth is able to find Nitro. Good shot from Taco. That buys him a little bit of space, but he's got to wait for a twist and a Liege. They don't have a lot to really defend with, but let's see what else he can find because he's got position, doesn't have timing. Just sneaks in behind him when he looked away.
Doesn't know that this force buy will lead to much. Bomb to be planted momentarily. Kill comes forward. That's going to be a Liege with one. Trying to pick up a rifle here, but not reachable. He'll fall back, and there we go. He'll grab it now. Incendiary throwing to buy him some time here. Twist looking to replicate the success of a Liege there and take a weapon into the next round.
He's trying to show off that he knows where they are, but he's not actually correct. Trying to play off the crowd a bit.
Well, that's all he'll do. He'll fall back now. In towards CT spawn. We have a game on our hands here. The fifth and final map. It seems that a best of 5 is available. We normally go the full distance, and it looks like this map will be very similar. I feel like overtime's going to be likely as well. 3 players survive for mousesports.
Calling that one, are you now?
I am, yeah. It's just because you see the mistakes being made and people not wanting to overcommit. They're playing very passive CS right now.
Apparently you have to eat your hat, Henry.
I'll get it later. We'll do it.
All right, I'll film it. It's content, as Anders would say.
Not the catchiest.
Have chance. I'd still like to see it personally. Twist gonna get aggressive. Naf the same. He'll try and hold outside of the palace position with just the Deagle. Well, he's the only one with a weapon. He can actually support this from the stairs, but mousesports, as we saw 5 hours ago when we started this on Cash, are slow in the anti-ecos. They don't want to overcommit. They play very disciplined in these situations. It's not exactly exciting to start off rounds, but it's effective. Now rotate back as well just to clear elsewhere on the map to get further information so they don't walk into a potential stack.
Liquid with the AK from the previous round. It's currently positioned towards the window room. Nitro is alone in towards B. He's only got the P250. It looks like a contact plate is what mousesports will deploy to tie us up at 4-4. Round 8 coming in.
Snacks is going to bring the bomb back around. Nitro is actually vacating. Okay, thinks better of it. He was vacating the site only to realize that there was no calls from A. He now hears them inside of the B apartments. It's Nitro to hold it alone. Alone, but with a slight chance. Couldn't quite find the final bullet onto Chris, but now it actually brings a Liege. The one man with the AK into the site. He's shut down early by Snacks. That takes any chance away from Team Liquid.
Indeed, that is going to be 4-4 guaranteed now. Taco and co hoping that they can at least get a weapon to take into the next round. That looks unlikely though. mousesports will just group up and make sure they punish anyone looking for exit frags here. Oscar watching the B apartments, that's where Taco resides. And they're just going to confirm the bomb will indeed go off and then exit together, presumably towards short, normally the safest area to head towards. Sunny's already there. Rops might investigate towards the kitchen area. Takes down one. Oscar on the follow-up. And mousesports are up and about now, man. After losing yet another pistol, they've managed to be convincing in almost all the gun rounds so far.
And despite that very questionable strategy, I guess we'll call it for now until we know otherwise, but that buy at the start, and still they pulled this back to 4-4, despite not having the money on the next round. It works in their favor, but now we get a buy back. We get Nitro back on the AWP. He'll go against Oscar. Mirage, we know, is every bit as T-sided for the ops as it is CT, so Oscar, you think toe-to-toe would have the advantage should they meet in the same position on the map. That is Oscar, in fact. He's heading out toward B apartments. He wants to pick at B as fast as he can. No commitment corner at mid. Elige down inside of connector. Chris with the AK will swing now, and he gets tagged through the edge of the wall. It's Nitro to actually make contact first. Oscar couldn't find anything at B, so they'll reset. Drops. He goes in instead toward A. Finding a twist, Elige has to rotate back over, flash and smoke down. He can't spray in, can't locate him. They're gonna have to rotate through the vent, back to CT stairs. That takes time. And that time that could be used by mousesports to get the bomb down. No smoke in the direction of CT as of yet. Snacks thought he was safe. Taco, he sprayed in. That was through smoke, and it drops the bomb. Now, that time they had to plant is erased. They've got a big problem. Nitro's already lining up, and Taco still has the same angle. They can't cover him off. They already used the smokes they had in that position. There's nowhere to take away the vision. They'll get just barely in between the smoke. The last one they had to get the bomb planted.
Here we go, then the retake begins, and Liquid haven't looked that efficient on these sort of rounds in the last couple of maps. Nitro with the AWP, they have got smokes and an incendiary, but no kits right now. Flashbang deployed, Sunny looking to strike. So good in these situations. Can he find the first kill? You better believe he can. Go for the double spray down, absolutely nails it, and Nitro has to fight tooth and nail here with the AWP and no utility, and that's the shot he had to hit. Will he get another chance? Absolutely not. mousesports take the round. Another retake falls by the wayside there for Team Liquids.
4 in a row. What a spray transfer from Sunny.
That was sick.
It's not like they were even anywhere close to each other. They were in a different time zone. They were so far apart, and he still nailed it. Brings it now to 5 for mousesports. Liquid, it's concerning. It really is. You come 2 rounds away in the last map from wrapping up this series, and you go onto a map that, despite being a very good one for them, in history has been a problem in pressure situations.
You can see they've lost their flair. When the pressure's really on, they look so caged. No one's making the big plays anymore. They're all playing not to lose instead of trying to make huge, impressive plays that would open up the round. That are sitting back and they've lost it. It's concerning. They need to get timeout. Zeus needs to get stuck in and rally up that killer instinct. Elige, maybe he can find the headshot that gets them back in the mood. He won't. 50 HP, but Taco, that's not bad. Find Snacks at least.
Good shot on the deagle, but Sunny's actually taking the initiative to rotate back into middle on the AK as a result of that. Taco's gonna push back out. He might actually catch it. Back turn. Sunny's low. He gets one, but it's straight, and Oscar's still there. Nonetheless, it's now a 4 versus 3. They haven't gotten any guns from it. The gun they could grab is way out toward the top of middle. Elige rotates back. He wants to be in B. Chris has dropped in. And Elige knows he has, but he's not at, I was gonna say timing. He knows he's not to his right. He's gonna try and wrap around and find it, but he's gotta be quick about this because Chris getting ever closer, so too were the players in the window. So all on to Twist, the only one nearby. Good news is they're keeping the economy very honest, as Naf did go rotating through middle to find the AK. Advantage again to Liquid, watch for Oscar. Naf can't really afford to be the one to go down. He's got now just Oscar to deal with. The AK versus the AWP, they know where he's likely to be, given it is the op, given it is the post plant. Spotted as well. Molotov, he's forced back out. That gives Naf the angle, and Liquid pull it back finally.
Finally, absolutely. A bit of luck coming their way. The deagle shots connecting. That was an eco victory for Liquid. They now have tons of cash, and 3 players survive. They will bring 2 AKs and an AWP into round number 11. That might wake them up. We'll see. Round 11. Oscar back on the AWP. No tactical timeout to speak of, but both teams fully invested. 5-5 on the final map here. In terms of the frag leaders, it's Taco at the top with 14 and 7. That's actually not the best news for Team Liquid. And then Oscar and Sunny at the very top for mousesports.
Twist nearly gets caught out running back to the shadow position. Gets one on Chris. They know where he is. He's lost Elige, which means he's alone on the site and stuck in a very, very tight position. They know they can spray through it. He tries to spray back, tries to bait in Snacks as well, and doing it. And he's got the bomb. Oh, yes, he does. Thrown forward directly on top of him. He'll take the initiative to try and work back through the smoke, but Sunny was waiting on the other side. Usually the sun is hidden in the clouds. It's Oscar that's going to try and flash it back toward CT. Naf wants in. He's not going to play games against utility, but Oscar, he's not going to let him. No access granted. They don't really need to go too aggressive giving the bombs down. So Taco needs to be careful not to get caught out by a jumping Sunny, and that's exactly what happens. And it's a reset against Liquid.
But they did win a full eco before, so they do get another buy together, but still, they'll have to take a pause and just work out how they're going to manage the welfare, as I think they'll drop weapons and try and work out what's going to be the best possible chance of winning this one. But you can see they are floundering somewhat. Liquid looks so dominant in the first few sectors of this best of 5. It was mousesports to pick up the first map, but then since then, Liquid have given away some rather large leads. Right now 6-5 as mousesports edge in front. It's actually the first timeout for Liquid used. Double orb setup is where they're going with it.
Yeah, and that's the interesting call, because you could have spread the wealth, but they want firepower.
Well, it's a map where they know they can get aggressive at the start, maybe get an open towards Palace, want to be apartments, go for those first picks. They'll absolutely have to do that. They can't just sit back and spawn and hope it'll work out. And this is looking like some sort of A play from the terrorist forces. They're going to have 3 players, make it 4 now, towards the A side of the map. Snack's actually backing up with the flashes towards middle from that area. Sunny, one of the key fraggers of the mousesports machine, who are actually backing up with a smoke towards A from middle, and then patrol the flanks.
Close with that pistol. Twist trying to bait them toward it. Pistol up close will certainly suffice, but it's be twice as good for mousesports as they fire back. Snacks and Oscar getting the kills. Elige still waits under shadow, and Nitro smoked off. Can't really bring his op back into it. He's hoping that playing forward enough in those smokes, maybe he'll get a gap as they start to dissolve, but instead he thinks better of it. They've not committed. He won't either. Elige, pistol, and 2 ops. That's all they have to defend sites, and potentially a retake with. I think if it comes to a bomb plant, it's a safe call. Elige manages at least to get the M4. Not a single ounce of utility left on their belts.
It's absolutely true. 4 on 3, 40 seconds remain. mousesports with the advantage right now, and look at that open B bomb site. That's where they're heading towards. CTs might just have to concede if they get in towards the site and plant. They're taking a huge gamble here. The outcomes not looking too good though. Liquid are hoping they would commit towards A, maybe overthink the situation. But as soon as this bomb goes down, that's round over. Team Liquid will not be going for this retake. It's absolutely not possible for them.
So 7-5 for mousesports. It's the right call, especially with the double op up. You know that if that's what you bought into, you certainly believe in it. You'll believe in the next round as well.
7-5, mousesports on the T side of Mirage right now. Another map where it's a CT-sided affair. Liquid, after winning the pistol convincingly and finding a 3-0, have only picked up a single gun round so far. They've had 1 eco victory aside that, so not the best stats coming through. But still, the scoreline is fine. 7-5 now, and they will save 2 AWPs, as you mentioned, and the M4 for Elige. No utility, but they might as well hold on to what they've got. Very expensive weaponry there. 4 players survive for mousesports. Only Chris J goes down. That was Taco, the only kill they picked up whatsoever, and there we have it. Round over. Liquid will have to look to round number 13 to see what they can do. We're coming to the dying stages now of the first half of the final map here at ESL One New York.
So they won't bring much else out along with those saved weapons. I say it, there's an MP9 at the very least. Taco will be the one with it. Look for him potentially to get aggressive in the apartments, try and find an off angle.
They actually spent every dollar they had primarily on utility. So it leads them with double orbs, the M4s, and maybe an opening kill once again from Chris J.
Nearly gets caught with the nade out, does Taco. MP9 movement mechanics are the favor, but he's no armor really that can hold against the AK at that range. Elige does pull one back. He's since trounced and removed.
Another save.
Might have to be double op again. You said it, they spent every single dollar. This is going to be another bomb plant on the B site. They're nowhere near it.
Yeah, the bombs will weigh in apartments at least, but still, it's the same outcome.
And the problem is if you continue to do this, I mean, inevitably, you're not building your bank back up by spending every dollar.
Well, this is the problem.
You're giving away so many rounds.
This is exactly what happened on Dust 2. They kept force buying into a really awkward situation. Then as soon as they traded out a kill, they would take gamble stacks around the map and then lose out, have to save again, then force buy once more. And they just couldn't get themselves stable at all. It's exactly what happened on Dust 2. And the double orbs just aren't being effective right now. A team that isn't known to have a superstar orb within it, is it even worth at this point? Maybe just stick to 5 rifles. That's where they seem to do their best work. Nitro had an epic performance on Nuke with the AWP, but it doesn't look like it's being replicated right now. Just 1 kill picked up again, as mousesports have more than enough cash, of course, for the rest of this half. We're going to round number 14 next. They will be winning the half at this stage, 8-5. Liquid need to wake up. Remember, 1 gun round under their belt so far. That is it.
Yeah, that's unbelievable when you consider that. And from what was 4-1, it's now 8-5.
This will be such a gutting defeat for Liquid if it goes against them.
This will be hard to walk out of this building thinking that this is the tournament that on paper, Na'Vi goes out in group stages, FaZe goes out in group stages,
Astralis on here.
Astralis are on the other side of the world.
Yep.
This is your stage, and still they run into apparently a red-hot mousesports. That'll get on their minds. That'll get under their skin. That certainly will pull on their emotions and team, I guess, chemistry. Overall, their mental fortitude. Good shot to start it off. It is Rops to pull back on Nitro, but they got the opening pick. That slows it considerably. The problem is bombs on A. Twist, he might have A main, but he's got no one to work with until Elise arrives from Connector. Snacks getting caught out, forced ever so slightly towards CT. That leaves him in the open. Naf's able to throw a touchdown in the meantime, as Oscar and Sunny now have to hold the bomb. Palace smoked off. Oscar has to be forced out with the op. He's going to try to rotate that to A main. He's going to try and double this up, hoping Sunny can last that long. He's got the first. He might last that long. He's got the second. They now have the advantage. Molotov goes down. Taco, he's not on it. He wasn't holding it. He'll at least get it back to a one-on-one. But this is where Oscar's rotation is everything. And he's going to get away. He's got no time. They've done just enough again on the mousesports side.
That's so insane. Sunny had to find 2 kills there. Not only does he get both kills, he throws a Molotov on top of the bomb, denies the defuse, and sabotages any attempt at that retake, and Liquid just can't get it done here. It's all falling apart. We go into round number 15. They only have 5 rounds on their CT side. It doesn't feel like enough. They only get that. We're in a lot of trouble. Sunny, this was the play. As soon as he nails his first shot, you feel like, well, all bets are off now. It will be still a relatively decent buy from Liquid here. They'll have a FAMAS, an AK, rifles across the board. Missed shot from Oscar. Liquid desperately need this round. Imagine if they didn't win the pistol here. This would have been an absolute bloodbath.
A slaughter, you're right. It's their only saving grace at this point on the Liquid side. Elise will wait. Top side of the smoke. He alone to try and hold Connector. With the FAMAS. Won't give up on this yet, despite that the end of the first half looks to be very one-sided. Money just never came back. The constant saving, the lack of buying. And even the clutch is going mousesports' way, and they almost cracked it down with the early buy. And it was all ripped apart just like this round. Taco left at a 1 versus 4. And the bomb will make its way to the A site. He can't even fire through the vent. 10-5, mousesports. 6 to go from emerging victorious in New York.
Well, there we go. 10-5. This is not looking good for Team Liquid. But remember, all it takes is a pistol victory. They were dominant in the first half with that. But mousesports just ran away with this. They look like such a skilled unit right now. The coordination's on point, and Liquid, it's so frustrating to watch. The savings happening, that's great, but then they keep forcing into these situations, leaving themselves no cash. They barely have any gun rounds in that entire half. Just 1 victory there after getting the 3-0 start. 10-5, but it's still recoverable. Liquid are still a world-class team. They're just starting to fall apart a little bit at the seams as the game develops. Second half will resume. We can have a look at the buys while we're here and see if we can work out what play Liquid are going to make. Here are the stats on the screen while we get into that. 2 smokes, a Molotov, flashbangs available, no upgraded pistols. So this is going to be a very technical execution here. The Molotov might come into play for the post-plant situation. There is a kit available for Snacks and HE as well. He didn't go for the smoke combo, he goes for the HE. That seems odd to me. Has he got something planned? I'm not so sure. We'll find out. I would say the smoke and diffuse kit combo, it's always so powerful. We've seen it in this tournament do amazing things, and it's the same cost. And here we go. We're underway. Ladies and gentlemen, the final half of ESL One New York. Let's make some noise. Team Liquid trying to get back into the game now. They need this pistol.
Chris holding off on catwalk, wants them to walk through. He'll hear them running down the hallways above. He's got the corner covered. They don't even check for it. And he's not only going to find one, Oscar's going to jump out to get a leash. He'll get responded by Twist at the very least, but Bomb sits on top of the van. Look at Chris go in this round. Just Taco left. mousesports are about to not only limit Liquid to one pistol and one gun round so far, they're about to take a massive lead on the CT half in this map 5. Taco slows it down. He'll have to give it everything he's got. Bomb, like I said, is already committed. It's in there. It's in the site. He can jump toward it, but then he's even more troubled because he won't be able to get back out from behind the van. Sunny confirms it before he even gets that far. 11-5.
Goes from bad to worse. That was a pistol they needed. They didn't really bring anything to the table. Fast up short, didn't even check Chris J's position. And at that point, it all falls apart. We have got a timeout, though, called by mousesports. Just to note, I'm not sure this is technical because it doesn't really make sense to call one right now.
Didn't make sense not to buy in round 4
yeah,
either.
That worked out. Of course, they'll be buying.
Liquid needs a hero right now. They need someone to step up and take the reins. Taco's doing well, to be fair to him. 17 kills for Taco, 17 for Sunny. They lead the way. It's relatively even down the board, except for Nitro. And despite his incredible performance on Nuke, looked reasonably sharp on Inferno, he now sits with 2 and 11.
That's a very good point. I didn't even notice that. That'll be such a gutting way for him to exit the tournament after playing so well in the first 4 maps. The one that really matters, if he drops off completely, he'll be so frustrated with himself. Liquid are going to force buy here. They'll send 5 players towards the B-bomb site. Snacks is there, ready and waiting with the UMP. No MP5 this time. He's going to get caught out. He gets a dink off, but that's about it. This could work out for Liquid now.
Chris is forced to fade away. Taco's going to follow it, take down Snacks. On the entry, that means that the damage, despite that he's on 17 and the post plant with a smoke in front of it, is still favorable to Liquid. So Oscar has to hold for now. They want to try and boost up on catwalk to get better vision, to get an off angle for Sunny to control. Bounce nade in the corners, fairly clever. Nitro takes another chunk of HP. From taking that nade directly at his shin bones, Chris then confirms the kill. Sunny on the retake finds 2 more. Twist has to hold high. He's got angle and he's got HP, but that's now down to 21. Tries to re-peek it. Chris finds him. They've got the round back. mousesports find 12-5.
I don't think they have this, though. It's going to be very close, actually. They didn't have a kit here, Matt.
Oh, they might get away with it. They might. Oh, they did. They didn't get it. Liquid just barely gets some luck on their side.
I thought so. I didn't want to get too excited there, but Liquid pull it back somehow. It comes right down to the wire there, a few milliseconds separating the outcome of the round, but Liquid are back in the game. They will have weapons here, but all 5 players went down. mousesports, they'll be feeling the pressure now. We go into round number 18, SMGs across the board. 1 rifle available for mousesports here. 1 for Mass, that's it. Chris J on the MP7. Just to know, he's a bit of an OG with that weapon, wants to keep using it. MP5 for Liege and Taco, AK for Naf, Twist with the Galil. Execution coming in, absolutely so. This round might decide the outcome of this map. Molotov going in, smokes are good, Rops with the 5.7, a bit of beast with his pistol. Watch out for him as Liege opens things up.
Good find. He's got the first one, Rops. You called it, he's a beast with this weapon, and they can't get him from the corner. They don't have an angle. Finally, they get one. And Snacks was the only player not on the site. Now, he is on a flank. He also has a 5.7. He's been detected. If he was able to sneak into a main and actually catch off them while they were securing post-plant positions, he might have had a chance at something of a surprise, but he has to back away this time. You're right, Liquid now find 11-7, getting this to a 4-round spread, but do so by controlling the money. Just to touch on that Nitro stat again as well, he's now on 3 and 12, but the 2 kills in the first round, how many times did you see him trying to hold from CT, just not have the timing perfect? That's where he on the AWP still has time to improve individually. Oscar was gifted kills even with a scout against him, so that was a really important battle in the first half.
It really was. Snacks now. He'll go down. Liquid right back in this. It took milliseconds of that explosion towards the B site. We'll see what round number 19 has in store for us. mousesports presumably can't buy him. We'll have 5K on Chris J, but the rest of them hovering just under 3. Round 19 comes in, and they'll take the full eco. This will go the distance now. Liquid, hopefully, will use that success, build upon it. Here's the rush towards middle, Elise to defend.
Elise takes Chris. Sonny Robson Snacks still in the same position, though. They want to go after him, and keep in mind, not only does he have an AK they would very much like, he's got the bomb. Yeah, okay, he's realized that. He's thrown it a little bit further away. Still, that won't matter. No one else is near enough by. Oscar as well gets a main. That's 2 guns picked up. And bomb, if they call it, and Oscar's not sure which way to go in this, because if they call that and he rotates back toward T-spawn, they could hold them off of this. This is now a 3-on-3 that's really awkward for Liquid.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any chance if that bomb down is absolutely everything. Sonny's actually got an angle towards Palace here. He'll capitalize upon it. Oh no, this was the full eco. Liquid can't afford to give this one up. It's down to twists.
If you said the last round could win them and change this outcome, this one could lose the whole final for them as well.
Yep.
They're gifting mousesports back the momentum.
This is insane. This was nothing invested, Matt. This was what, 2 P250s and default pistols, and now all of a sudden they have the advantage here. Sonny watching the apartments. He spots him. He's looking for the challenge here. He'll get the aggro. Can the trade come in response? Yes, it can. Robs will take him down, and now Nitro, 2 versus 1. Surely got this frag. Equalizes things to an even playing field. It comes down to such an awkward exchange. 1 bullet on either side, and Oscar takes it. It's a full eco victory. mousesports shut it down. Oh my goodness, that's such a disaster.
And the epitome of that battle, it may not have been Ops, but it was Oscar and Nitro, a chance to redeem himself, to win that round for his team, and Oscar gets away with it. Nitro knows it, head in hands, stress at an all-time high for Liquid in this series. It is now 4 to go for mousesports, and money just gifted to them.
That's insane. How does that possibly happen? The 5th map in a best of 5. They give it that single kill. Oscar will close things out in the 1 versus 1, but for me, that's all about Sonny. What an absolute god of the game. We'll take the tactical timeout. That's Liquid calling it, of course. 12-7. Money's still relatively healthy, but the morale, maybe not so much. They really need to keep their heads in the game here. Zeus has got his work cut out for him. Needs to keep these young players in the game. Chris J looking to close this one out now.
I mean, another round, Liquid has to win this.
Just to know, that's Nitro who lost the 1v1. He's on 4-13 right now, right? He hasn't continued to improve. It's
and I feel you have to point it out, right? Map 5 grand final, it can't go unnoticed. At the same time, he's played so well. It's heartbreaking to see him in that situation, but that's exactly what it is. Robs just barely gets back into contention on the duel. As he goes down to 7 HP, he actually finds 2. He gets a Liege as well. Nitro is tagged on 15, but has 2 kills this round, looking better. As Chris tries to hold off from CT. Bomb can't be planted. They don't have the utility to hold off the AWP. In fact, the last Molotov went toward jungle instead. They have to battle against Chris.
That's a massive problem.
Flash will at least let the bomb cross back over, get away toward default. Chris knows exactly what they're trying to do, and he's not stupid. He'll go out and find Nitro trying to retreat. Taco now has to battle and go back out. It's going to be a hold for mousesports. 13-7, no money, Liquid.
No money, 13-7. Matt, you said it all. They have to eco here. If they force buy, that could be the throw in itself. They're going to have to let it go to 14-7. And then grind it back. Oh my God. I'm not sure what's going to happen to these boys if they let this one go. Looking very emotional right now. It's such a high pressure situation. So much on the line. This was their tournament to win.
Sonny?
It's gone for the old bullpup. That's coming out. All right, first time I think if he purchases this tournament. I assume that's a misbuy. There's no real benefit to having that.
Incendiary thrown early from Chris. Doesn't want them any access toward middle. Chris, shooting gallery available to him. It's 1. Still working on his aim. That's fine. Oscar's working on his as well. Straightforward, 2 to go for mousesports. This is it. This is everything for Liquid. They have to win this round or this final's over.
You're absolutely right. They made the right decision. Took the eco there. I'm not sure they have it in them, though, to bring this back. It's been such a long, grueling affair. We get into round number 22.
Sometimes it is more stressful to watch than be a part of.
Double orb setup. Chris J and Oscar looking to close this out in style. Dust 2 is where it should have ended. Remember, Liquid were 13-4 up, and it all comes crashing down. Oscar looking to put one of the final nails in the coffin here. Nails the first shot. Sets his teammate up, Robs perfectly.
So fast. Robs, you're right, is perfectly positioned now. He can swing out. With the nades down, great find from Mirage. That saves them time to plant the bomb. Now we've got a round. As Oscar has a slight gap in the smoke, but can't find anyone on the other side of it. Mirage will go for the rotate. He wants mid-connector. It's not in sequence with the bomb. It's not a straight lineup, but it certainly is another approach in which he can cut off anyone rotating on the mousesports side. Meanwhile, they're going to go with 3 players, the exception being Chris, towards CT. Taco still waiting inside of the smoke, has to work his way back out. Trades even so far. Smoke on the bomb, that'll extinguish any Molotovs thrown in the direction, but they don't have any, and it's Chris J on his own! He's got 2, he nearly finds it, but Nap holds true, and Liquid hold on.
That was so close. Half a second more, Chris J hits that no-scope. Team Liquid pull one back. Money, actually not as strong as you'd think for mousesports. They will have a bye. But this is such an integral moment of the game itself. If Liquid can get this, they might have a chance to build us some momentum here.
They'll still have that double up on the mousesports side. Take a look at Elige. Easily one of the top 3 players on Liquid, which I know that says it's a pretty small team to be the top 3, but they've got so much skill, and he's always been consistent. He now sits on 17 in this game as well. Nitro slowly getting back into it.
6 and 16, it would be such a horrible way to finish it, but there's something that's not quite right with Liquid right now. Like we said in the first half, they looked caged, they lost their aggressive play style. We aren't seeing the huge individual plays anymore, just kind of grouped up, trying not to lose. And that's just not the way this team should be operating. You've got more talent, pound for pound, in pretty much every player. And it doesn't seem to be translating right now.
Think about the other side of this. mousesports. Does this justify the move? Snacks, he's been waiting to win against since 2017 in Vegas with a long-time team. Virtus Pro, longest roster in esports, comes over and he might finally sniff victory once more. Taco, however, has the start for Liquid. He'll take down Rops. Oscar's limited this time, not playing from CT. In fact, the Molotov deep enough, he's got to back away. Takes 40 damage from it, and he'll rotate back through the vents. That gives Elige position. Wants to try and hold, catwalk from connector. Wants to try and hold off the rotations. Oscar's gone. Chris isn't. Op still in the picture. Op still very much in the round. Oh, Chris! He's found three. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God! Chris, the Wolf of Wall Street, gets an ace, and it's championship point mousesports.
That's got to be one of the sickest plays of the tournament, maybe even of the year. Chris J shuts everything down. Look at this. This is Counter-Strike perfection right now. That round was going in favor of Team Liquid. No problem at all. They were considering the save. And Chris J might have just found the championship for mousesports here. No money left. Liquid is CZs only. They're going for the execution, and mousesports just need one now.
Holy shit, Chris J. You talk about a team player. He's played every role for this team. He is the franchise. He's been on this team forever, and he's going to put the nail in the coffin like that? Liquid had that round. Even trade so far, smoke's off. They might still get a plant from this, but even then it's going to be desperate to hold off. They've got one Molotov and a flash in a 4-on-4. mousesports 1 round away from victory yet again.
Wait though, there might be a twist. Oh my God! Chris J keeps hitting the shots of the AWP. 2-on-2 now.
You said it, there might be a twist though. He's got a gun, and he's been so sharp. Chris again?
This is
Chris
sick.
again, it's all to twist. He knows it. The young rookie, so much skill. He knows where the bomb is. He knows there's a smoke on it. He's got it. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Sonny's got away with it. mousesports win it. The Battle of Brooklyn. And they're back to winning after the roster change. After so much work. And it's heartbreak for Liquid. mousesports in ESL One.
The final map always seemed to deliver. And Chris J certainly did towards the end. One of the best plays you'll see in CS. It looked like they were down and out. 13-4 down in the 4th map, and they've come back to win it in the 5th. An outstanding victory. Commiserations to Team Liquid. That's going to be so gut-wrenching for the map.
They wanted this. It's their home. It's their stage. They were the favorites. Zeus gives condolences to Twist, who tried very hard in that 1-on-2. But mousesports come back to it. And with Snacks, remember, even making the playoffs, none of us on the panel were really that convinced of their efforts, but have they ever turned it around? And you've got to give Snacks credit. He looked excellent. 2nd highest in multi-kills in this final series. And man, oh man, mousesports, after a big summer, after a change that was questioned, they're the champions. ESL One New York, mousesports on Broadway.
And they have done it. mousesports stay afloat here. No Liquid will be drowning them out today in New York. ESL One champions. mousesports have sealed the deal. They have closed it out in 5 maps, and they have taken us the full distance on the back of some heroics by Chris J on Mirage. A spectacular performance here for them to battle it all the way back. And my goodness, chills down my spine as I watch Chris J.
What a way to close that one out there. Fireworks indeed. They've got to be happy with that one. They didn't have to beat the top dogs at all to get here, but they got the victory.
They got the victory, they got the W, and one man who certainly made it happen, Chris J on the stage with OJ.
And they say that 5 maps can't be interesting. That was some epic final, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was. It really was.
When you were playing Dust 2, you're 13-4 down. What did you say to the team?
I don't know, I didn't say anything in particular. I think we all kept believing that we could do it, because this tournament we made a lot of comebacks already, and we managed to win games from far behind, so we never lost trust in each other.
But that is a long way back. Everyone was talking about that Liquid were going to be the first North American team to win an ESL One. There must have been some doubts in your mind at that point.
No, like I told you, we're going to win against the home team.
You did indeed. And that ace, I think Henry called it, Hank called it, probably the play of the year. Talk us through it.
I don't know, I just had a good feeling and I wanted to win.
Man, he's a man of a few words. What has it been like playing here in New York? Because you guys have had such an interesting tournament from start to finish.
Yeah, it's been awesome. The first few matches were interesting because they were so close and we had to come back as well. But now in front of this crowd, the American fans were so energetic, and it's been awesome to play here, really.
And for this lineup as well, because people have talked about it, whether the moves have worked. Do you feel this is now where you click?
I think so. I think Snacks has showed really, really amazing rounds this tournament as well. So I think things are starting to work for us.
Fabulous. And any words for the beaten foes for Liquid?
I mean, they played really well. I'm glad it was such a close final again. So GG to them.
Well, GG to you as well. You are the champions here in New York, ESL One New York 2018. Put your hands together for your winners. That is mousesports.
It is very true indeed. mousesports have sealed the deal, but commiserations to Team Liquid, a team that came in here the heavy favorites, and I want to ask you, Brooklyn, to make a round of applause on their behalf as well. Let's hear some noise for Team Liquid. My goodness, guys, how do we even begin to wrap this one up? We went the full distance. We go through Cash all the way into Mirage, and it did look really rough there for mousesports at a point.
It's like I said, this is set up to almost be like a tournament of destiny, because for Team Liquid, they got almost enough rounds on the first half. They had the 9-10 rounds. Okay, we need 6 rounds to grind out on the T side, but that's going to actually take being a clutch team. That's going to take believing in what you've got. It's going to take a game plan, ability to execute under pressure. Meanwhile, for mousesports, what kept them in the series? What kept them coming back? Ballsy players, people individually doing hero plays. As a team, like Chris just said, never giving up, actually always thinking it's possible to get back into the game. And as a result, which win condition came out was the mousesports one. Obviously fitting that the captain, the long-time anchor piece of the team, Chris J does that ridiculous ace. But you look at the tournament overall, how can you begrudge mousesports? They fought back in it every game.
Yeah, you have to think about this. They did beat a couple of teams who seemed out of it early. This is why we weren't sold on mousesports. They beat Fnatic with a stand-in. They beat Gambit with a player already on the bench.
Yes.
They made the game against NRG look relatively convincing, but there were still moments where it could have gone either way. And then versing Liquid, the world number 3 here in the final, I didn't think that they would be able to do it, but they showed up. And like you said, Duncan, the individuals were the key here. This was the problem for this roster. We knew that the star power was there, but not enough members clicking all at the same time. And once we got to Mirage, Sunny came to life once more, and you could see how much pedigree that guy had. I think his multi-kills in the mid-rounds of those early stages is what really broke this Liquid roster and put them on the, the economy woes, and that's where the game was won, in my opinion.
Well, even going all the way back to Dust 2, where in which we went into overtime, and somehow, some way, mousesports is able to bring this one back. Right then and there, you could see a sort of shift almost within Liquid. You didn't really see that sort of validity coming into this last map.
Despite the fact that they did win the first half of this last map, and in theory, that was what should have set them up to win. It's going to be that Dust 2 second half that will be haunting their nightmares for a long time to come. Thinking, should we have gone for this one? Could we have done something different? Were we too reactive? Should we have been proactive? Whatever it is, that's the one that's going to stick with you. And I have to say, in this series, sure, terms like who deserved to win, pretty lauded, but Twist was unbelievable in this final and this tournament in general. I can't believe he's lost. I think it's one of those simple scenarios where he's the MVP of the tournament. I don't care who won the 5th map. Guy was unbelievable in this one.
He went plus 39 in 5 maps. He was the only player on his entire team to be in a positive ratio. And look, we build players up. Sometimes we have to break them down. Naf, he didn't exist in this final.
Yeah. It was a rough day for Naf, and we actually are privileged enough to hear from him directly. He is backstage. Naf, commiserations, bud. Let's hear what you got.
Commiserations indeed. Thank you, Stunner. Now, obviously a tough last few rounds for you guys. Just from your opinion, what do you actually think went wrong?
One, I kind of played like shit, so sorry, but yeah, I don't know. Just overall, I don't know. After that Dust 2 game, it was a little rough, but overall, I think just mousesports played well. We kind of felt the pressure, I think, a little bit, but yeah, I think that's the big standing up point is I kind of just played really bad, but it's whatever. Just look forward, I guess.
Look forward indeed. And remember, it isn't just one player, it is the whole team that you have to do this with. And you guys have showed great energy, great effort to get here. The crowd was cheering you on no matter what. Even at the end there, they're still making noise for you. Anything you want to say out there to the fans and everyone just watching back at home?
Yeah, thanks everyone in the crowd for cheering us on. We appreciate it. It was amazing. Thank you.
Obviously, it's a sad moment. Team Liquid didn't make it through, but second place is still a good feat. When you look at the caliber of teams that were here, guys, make some noise one last time for Team Liquid, please. And Stunner, it's going to go back over to you guys one last time.
Yeah, a rough spot there for Team Liquid. Last year they come in here, they finish second. This year it's a double down and take second again. And where does that exactly leave this Liquid lineup?
This is the problem. This is how we set it up. This was their time. The path was open. There's no Astralis. There wasn't even a FaZe Clan or an Army in their path. This was supposed to be the victory against a mousesports that looked out of sorts. Didn't look like they worked very well together. So now you have to start asking the questions, not just can Team Liquid beat Astralis? Do they have some sort of a psychological block? Because I've had finals before. I'll give you a great example, the Boston Major, where FaZe Clan, sure, on paper they were supposed to win, but it was such an amazing final. I've even said to some of the FaZe players, you got to tip your hat. It's just great to be in an amazing match like that. Whoever wins that one, it's crazy. This one here, I can't say that about Team Liquid, though. They were up so many maps. They were in position to win on the last 2 maps. They didn't close the deal. Yes, mousesports made ballsy plays. They had some hero individual efforts. People, I noticed, actually took turns map by map to come online. All great stuff. But that would have all been moot if Team Liquid had done their job.
Well, let's just point something out here. I think it's a winner's mentality. It's not that Liquid aren't hungry to win. It's that they haven't actually ever felt that feeling and they don't know what it takes to get across that line. You know her man who does? Taco.
Yes.
In the last 2 maps, he came alive. He had a lot of impact kills.
Yes.
He had that Deagle round, which actually got the Maniko win on the board. If you look at Dust 2, he was the second or the third highest frag player under Twist in that game with a lot of impact there. You look at this last map, he was the highest fragger on the team. So you have to look at Taco as someone who's lifted the big trophies, who knows what it takes to get there, and he's stepped up. I don't know how he can impart that knowledge. I don't know how he can lift his team. But that's the quality that these other players are just missing. Elige and Nitro at this point have always been the bridesmaid, right? They've never gotten across the line. Think about all these finals they've been in. Think about these tournaments where they've been on trajectories, they've gotten to a position that maybe they shouldn't have, and then in the finals they've just never been able to close out. This one for me was the big one. I said it to kick off today, they already had one hand on the trophy. Right here, that's been ripped away from them. The heartbreak of this loss, knowing that it should have been yours, that's gonna sting.
And exactly right. I mean, just from my experience with Cloud9, the summer run of second places, it does etch right into your psyche. It will dig at you, and it won't be good. You sometimes you can't even come back from that. It'll always lurk in your mind. We were about to cross the finish line, and it just doesn't happen. But I mean, the numbers over there on that Liquid side, at least within Twist, what you guys were saying is absolutely sensational. 120 to 81 KD. Plus, I mean, obviously he had a massive impact here for Liquid, but it simply wasn't enough. Why can't they close is the question.
Who knows?
It feels like a different problem every tournament. Like, yes, the themes are the same. Definitely, you could paint the same movie, but like last year, it was Twist who wasn't that great in the final, didn't continue the form. Elige, oftentimes the rock of the team, he was good in a couple of maps here. Did he turn up entirely? That's always the problem I have with these teams that have loads of talent. Same with FaZe Clan. It's too easy to go, well, we win as a team, we lose as a team. It's like, at the end of the day, if I'm playing against SK, now MIBR, and Cold Zero doesn't carry the game, I look at him and go, where were you? That's the kind of accountability that I've always wanted in the Team Liquid squad. Someone like, fair play to Natha, at least he said it in the interview. Yeah, he did play pretty bad. Like, he admits 67 kills over 5 maps. That's not going to get it done if you want to be a star player on lists at the end of the year as one of the best teams. You have got to win eventually when you get in the final. You've got to be the big man in the big game. Especially
for a guy that has been hailed as the sort of a backpack player for this team. This guy has been putting the team on his shoulders a couple times now. But, what changes coming into New York?
I guess his rise to notoriety has been relatively quick. In Renegades, he was carrying 4 players. Then he came into Liquid and he was part of a team with lots of stars. And, he definitely has his tournaments. So does Elige. So does Twist. This time, it could have been Elige who was doing what Twist did. It could have been Naf. But this time around, it just wasn't to be. Here's the thing. With the amount of effort these guys put into that major run, with how good that they look there, with how good in the majority of this tournament that they looked, it's just here, this one blip on the radar, which has eluded them. So the point is, definitely don't change roster. Definitely don't sit here and point fingers and go for any blame game on anybody. This is something they need to work through as a team. This is something, you need to eventually close. Whereas mousesports are the one, we were talking about the trajectory of both of these squads from Mykonos last year. mousesports went to the highest of highs. They became a top 3 team in the world, and then they dipped. They made a roster change. They did all this, and whereas Liquid has been on that steady incline, and now they've just plateaued.
You want to talk about just an absolute beast of a performance here. You can already imagine what the play of the day is going to be.
Sure.
You already know that the man with the J in his name, starting with a Chris, has certainly put some pain on Liquid there at the end. Let's take a look at just how insane this is.
He's always had such fast firing speed as well, This is his style of play. What's funny is, though, he used to be known as an online superstar for doing this sort of stuff, because you don't do this on LAN when it's in the finals. It's, an aim-up point.
That is the definition of combat ulping right there. Going and getting stuck in like that and using that weapon almost like a shotgun in some of those occasions is that's what I love to see. Obviously, they're not percentage plays by any means, but that's what gets the crowd going. That's the exciting Counter-Strike that we're talking about. And to pull that off in a grand final, this is the thing. When the chips are down, they weren't in this occasion, but historically for mousesports, when the chips are down, Chris J's the guy who's still got the balls to go for plays, still got the balls to entry frag, and here on the CT side, just to do that, just style points for this kid.
That last kill on the connector guy was just, that was the one for me that said, okay, this is it. Pack it up, get him out of here, go wait in the lobby, it's done.
The thing that's tantalizing, though, is considering mousesports just won a best of 5 over a top-ranked team, big trophy, a tournament with Na'Vi and FaZe, and, all this stuff sounds great. So you want to say Mouse is back, they're going to be a force. I have to say, the way that they won this tournament, they could have been down and out many times. I mean, they did lose the map, as you said, earlier on the tournament to Fnatic, right? Yeah, with Scream. Then they had tough comeback early after that, yes, against Gambit. Then in this final, like I said, there was 3 or 4 maps where if they hadn't have had that resiliency, they're just down and out immediately. This is a 3-0, 3-1, whatever type scenario you want to imagine. So certainly the ceiling looks very exciting. Like, if these players can all play, as you saw, it was weird. It was a committee effort, but map by map. It wasn't like everyone all at the same time. That's really cool. I hope we can see that more, because the way they played was so ballsy. It was very infectious to watch. But can they replicate that again? Can they actually be a legit top team? I have my questions on that.
If they can continue this type of form, that's the question mark, right? We don't want to take anything away from this win. This is a massive victory. The fact is, they're also a team who is used to making it within the top 2s, making it in the top 4s and not getting across the line in the bigger tournaments. This is the real big first stage win for them. So maybe this is the catalyst for them going forward, Trace.
And you know, for all intents and purposes, just overview, big oversight here, some closing thoughts from you two on what to take away from ESL One New York 2018.
I guess it's just a coming out of what mousesports are capable of. We already knew what Liquid could do. The falling off from Na'Vi and FaZe, look, that's just an unfortunate thing. They're definitely not going anywhere, but this is positive signs for mousesports once more that the roster changed for Snacks. He had a good tournament.
Yes.
At least he had a good final. It's starting to bear fruit. With a bit more practice, you know, this team could go back to that top 5 position in the world that we know that they're capable of.
And after the major playoffs was so, like, the favorite team won every single match, basically, even up to the final. And it was so clear-cut, and everyone said, where was the excitement, where were the crazy? This was the tournament of upsets. I mean, basically, Team Liquid's the only team that was kind of upholding their end of the bargain. And even they fell in a best-of-5 final. And actually, the best-of-5 factor should have made it even less likely they could lose because, like we said, they had comfort throughout the whole map pool. The last map, they come in knowing it's one of our all-time favorites. They win the CT half. So everything was set up for them. So as a result, I have to give credit to mousesports. They're the team of destiny, I guess.
Well, unfortunately, it is that time where we do have to start turning the cameras and the lights off around here. And with that, of course, I need to tell you that EPL, the ESL Pro League, is kicking off this Tuesday. In fact, you might see some familiar faces there with that. And I guess a little more over than that. The next time you could be seeing anybody of, this crew at least, could be in Chicago for the Intel Extreme Masters in November. It's going to be at the Wintrust Arena, and you don't want to miss that. It's coming to the Midwest, and it's surely going to be a banger. Of course, my name is Trace Saranthus, and I have thoroughly